Happy Thursday. Today's LRP Love giveaway, but I also have a special treat in store in terms of education because I was so very inspired by a couple things to talk about sleep and how important sleep is. So I got all my nerdy education out and I wanted to share with you somebody who does sleep really well. As well as some tricks and statistics and information so that we can do a sleep challenge together. So my hope is that the beginning of April, what we're going to do is we're going to really target changing things in our daily habits so that we are sleeping and healing well. So let me give you a little bit of information to play off on that. Did you know that 33% of Americans don't get enough sleep? That's a third of us. Quite frankly, I think 75% of moms of kids under the age of 5 don't get enough sleep. And no, I'm reading it. I'm not going to exit out. And so this rings really true for me because I remember how my health and my ability to function and my attitude and my energy and even my coordination was all compromised during the season when I was not sleeping well. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. If you have little kids, I promise at some point they will start sleeping through the night. No promises, but I'm going to give you some little tips and tricks that might get you there quicker. And on top of that, we will do our LRP Love giveaway. So I wanted to ask you a question. Comment below how you sleep. Okay, so couple parts to that. Tell me how many hours you typically sleep. Tell me if you feel rested when you wake up on a scale of, let's say, 0 to 10. So 0 being you feel like you could sleep another 10 hours, and 10 being you dreamed about Justin Timberlake and you feel rested and ready to go for the day. So give me a scale of 0 to 10 on how well you feel when you wake up after sleeping. So how many hours you typically sleep and how well you feel when you first wake up. Third thing that I want you to brainstorm, you don't have to put this in the comments, so some things that affect sleep, right? Stress, diet, caffeine, sugar, screens in your bedroom late at night. And so these are some things that I want to just chat really quickly about because I think they're important. And sometimes all it takes is somebody just saying it out loud. Just saying out loud, dude, it's not smart to have your screen in the bed with you as you're trying to fall asleep. So I know we're all guilty of getting really attached to our phones in particular. So that one hits close to home. All of these do. Let's be honest, all of these do, which is why I wanted to share them with you. Okay, so another question I want you to be thinking about. I am going to give you the definitions of different levels of sleep deprivation. No coins in your mouth. Look, if you can't be good, you're going to be out of here. How do you like that? Kisses instead of apologies. Okay, so caffeine, stimulants, alcohol, sedatives, so sleep medications, they actually interrupt true sleep cycles and healing rest. So I know that there are a lot of sleep medications out there and some people desperately need them for insomnia and things, but it has been shown that they don't necessarily support great healthy sleep cycles. And so that's something I just wanted you to be aware of. But let me give you the 3 levels of sleep deprivation. Susanna, silence your noise. Yes, Mom.
Yes, Mom.
Thank you. All right, you ready? These are going to hit close to home too, especially for us mamas. Short-term sleep deprivation is defined as loss of attention, failure to process information, impulsivity, loss of empathy, memory impairment, and reduced cognition and creativity. So how many of y'all felt more creative when you were younger or sleeping better, right? How many of y'all felt like your memory was better? That's just short term. That's just short term sleep deprivation and the side effects. All right, so here's long-term. Long-term sleep deprivation looks like your immune system is suppressed. You have an increased risk of infection and cancers, increased cardiovascular disease, risk of type 2 diabetes, and you can also develop thyroid and metabolic issues because of long-term sleep deprivation. And we could talk a long time about that, but one of the things that happens when you sleep that I was learning about earlier is that your brain actually cools off as you sleep. So why do we yawn? We yawn because our brain's getting hot, we're tired, and we're trying to cool it off. But when we sleep, it cools off as well as drains. So it's draining and healing, and that's that inflammation process that's getting handled in a healthy way. All right, now here's the one that really threw me. So there's another one. The definition of psychiatric sleep deprivation is mood instability, anxiety, an increased need for stimulant or sedative use. Don't even get me started on my coffee intake in the morning. And an increased risk of mental health crisis. So that can be risky behaviors and particularly in the category of youth. Our youth are some of the most sleep deprived people in the country. So moms of little kids, definitely on the list. But our high school kids and middle school kids are actually even higher at risk because their bodies need more sleep than we realize. And I know from my high school students, I used to ask them when I was studying this, I'd ask them how much they'd slept the night before. And they would stay up until 1, 2, 3 in the morning, either finishing their homework that they had been too busy to do during the day, or on their phones, finally getting to relax and unwind, chatting with their friends or posting or whatever it is that they do. Snapchat, I think, was the one that always came up. But those kids need more sleep than 2 to 5 in the morning, because then they'd get up at 5 in the morning, they'd be at school early for whatever club they had before school, and they're trying to run on that for long periods of time. So if you have a middle school aged or a high school aged kid, this is especially something that they need to prioritize as their brains are developing so dramatically during that time period. All right, so let's see. I have a math problem for you. So this is one that I did in my pre-calculus class, as well as my college calculus. And so it's a logarithm. If you guys ever did logarithms and exponentials, so that's the unit that's involved here. And I wanted to show you what I did. I'm not going to bore you with the math part. I'll take a picture of it and post it in case you're interested. But where's my pen, Sue? Did you take my pen?
No.
No. Okay. So what I want you guys to see is that there's approximately 130 milligrams of caffeine in a cup of coffee. Now, that's one measuring cup, right? Not one mug. And what we did in this problem is we calculated that if an adult's metabolism is working that caffeine out of your system at an approximate rate of 11% per hour, the question was, how long will it take for that caffeine to be eliminated from your system, right? So everything works this way, not just caffeine, but also sugar, medications. Everything that goes into your metabolism is this exponential decay process as your metabolism works it out. And so everybody's metabolism is different. These are all approximations. I'm sure a Starbucks cup of coffee is higher caffeine than this. So there is some room to fudge the numbers. But I want you to see it's only just a cup, one measuring cup. My mug that I usually drink holds 3 measuring cups. So when I say I have 2 cups of coffee in the morning, it's more like 5 or 6. So right there, that can give you a little bit of perspective too. And so what I want you to see from the math problem is that we wanted to figure out how long it would take for half of that caffeine to be eliminated from the body. So I divided it by 2. There's my 65. I put in that what I want that 11% decay. So subtract that from 100, subtract that from 1 when you've got your decimal form, because 89% of it is still in your bloodstream, right? If 11% has decayed out, 89 is still there. And so we get that approximately 6 hours later, you will have half that caffeine in your system. Okay, so let's multiply this times 3. So say you're drinking out of a typical mug, And that's 390 milligrams of coffee. Hey, Connie, I'm so glad you're here. Good morning, good morning. All right, so say that's 390 milligrams of caffeine that's in your mug of coffee, and you drank it at 8 a.m. All right, so we're gonna make the math easy. We're gonna round. We're gonna say it's 6 hours for that half-life. All right, so my question is, because I lost my pen, what time will you have half that caffeine in your body, right? So at 8 o'clock a.m., 6 hours later is what? 6 hours later is what? Okay, so 6 hours, let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 p.m. Is that what you got, 2 p.m.? Okay, so by 2 p.m., you have half of that in your bloodstream. So I'm just real quickly gonna divide that by 2. So that gives us 195 milligrams of caffeine that's still in your body at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, right? Hope. My dog's shaking my computer. Okay, so that's even more still than was in the original 1 cup of coffee. 195 is where we are. All right, so let's do it again. So half-life again. So half-life again would be 6 hours after 2 p.m., right? So what time is that? 6 hours after 2 p.m. And I'm gonna divide that by 2. All right, so now we're at 97.5 milligrams of coffee. And what is that, 6 hours after 2? It's at 8 p.m., right? Okay, so now it's 8 o'clock at night. Picture what your schedule looks like through the day. All right, so what is happening at 8 p.m.? And in my house, I'm putting the kids to bed so that I can finally unwind. But 97.5 milligrams of that caffeine is still in my system. It hasn't been metabolized out. All right, okay, so let's take it a little further. Divide by 2 again. And then 6 hours after 8 p.m., now it's 2 a.m. in the morning, and you still have 48, 49 milligrams of caffeine in your bloodstream, right? 2 a.m. Who's trying to sleep at 2 a.m.? Me. You still have caffeine in your system now. Not that much. Your body's really good about metabolizing this kind of thing. So 48, 49 milligrams of caffeine still in your bloodstream at 2 a.m. All right, so let's take it all full circle. What happens 6 hours later? 6 hours later, it's 8 a.m. We'll divide that by 2 again. Now you're at 24 milligrams of coffee, and what's happening? It's 8 a.m., and you're drinking your next mug of coffee, right? 8 a.m., you still had 24 milligrams of caffeine from yesterday's coffee in your bloodstream while you're drinking the 390 to get started again. So what do you think happens when we do this long term? Every day, there's more and more of a buildup of caffeine that your body has not completely metabolized out. And so what I want you to hear is that one of the biggest correlations between insomnia and sleep deprivation is simply caffeine use. If you drink a cup of coffee after 2 p.m., 2 p.m. because it's in our math problem, right? At 8 p.m., half of that coffee is still in your bloodstream. So I know for me, once I knew that math, I started to pay attention. I loved a cup of coffee. I still do. I'm not going to lie. I still love a cup of coffee at 2 p.m. after lunch. Yeah, Connie, see, I refill too. I love more than 1 cup of coffee. It's something that is warm for me and it brings me joy. And so I really think though that if you drink coffee after 2 p.m., you're setting yourself up for a hard time to go to sleep. So all that to say, pay attention to your caffeine intake. And if you just do one thing based on this little mini lesson, cut your caffeine use out after 2 p.m. and just pay attention. Just do it for a week. Just pay attention. If you really want an afternoon cup of coffee, have it at 1 p.m. Make sure it's done by 2 and see how your body feels. Now, chocolate, there are other things that have caffeine in it, so just watch out for that. Another thing that's a really good recommendation. So this is option number 2 if you're ready to really tackle your sleep. So we're cutting caffeine after 2 p.m. We're also going to cut sugar or any really dense foods after 8 p.m. Now, some say 7. I stay up until about 10. It's totally up to you what time your bedtime is, but you need at least 2-3 hours for your body to digest what you've eaten before laying down to rest, because your metabolism slows dramatically while you're sleeping, and that heavy food in your belly prevents you from getting some really great deep sleep. So you drink 2 cups at 3 p.m. every day. I know it, right, Connie? Okay, so try it and see how you feel if you drink maybe 1 of those cups at 1 p.m. And well, here, Connie, how do you sleep? Do you sleep well? Tell me how you sleep. Okay, so make sure that that you're not eating too late. So that's another huge thing for me. And again, I'm preaching to the choir here because I am really bad about wanting to eat after my kids go to bed, simply because they don't steal it and I taste it and it's delicious and I can snack on whatever I want. And so just be really careful, because that can disrupt your sleep as well. Sugar intake, right? Up and down. It's the same thing as caffeine. These are things that we use as stimulants to help us throughout the day with energy. But what if they're causing these crashes that make our body almost hyperactive because we're not quite sure where we are, and then we can't have great healing rest. Okay, so let's talk oil options for these. There are 2 things in particular that inspired my desire to share some education about sleep with you today. The first one is a sweet lady named Barbara who came by and asked about sleep options. So that, of course, got me started. Second thing, okay, go get some water. Get your water bottle.
I'm hungry.
Second thing, you're hungry? Well, we'll eat lunch at lunchtime. Second thing that inspired me is that I got on the phone with another friend who was telling me some really awesome oil experiences. Now, you've heard some of what she had to say. She gave me permission to share that she was using the Slim and Sassy and had lost a good amount of weight there that first week. Look at Mama. Shh. Hush your noise. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So, so Angela called me up and she said, I just had to tell you that that was not temporary. She said, I have never seen my weight under, she gave me a number, since years and years. She's like, and it just keeps coming off, about a ½ pound a week. And so see, that's great, healthy weight loss right there. And so again, I just wanted to reconfirm what it is that she was doing. I asked her what she was doing. She was doing the Slim and Sassy. She said, yes, she hates the taste of it. She does it topically on the bottom of her feet. She puts a drop of Slim and Sassy on the bottom of her feet in the morning. And that was that catalyst initially. She said, but you know what else I think helps? And I asked her what? She said, I am sleeping so well. And that stuck out this time talking to her, because I wanted to share with you what she's doing and some of the options for sleep. Now, if you have been around with us for a while, all of these great plant-based options are whatever fits for you. And there's tons of versatility in which plants you might love and respond to the best, as well as fitting in your budget, as well as what you like the smell of, what you enjoy. And so, so there's a lot of flexibility here. There's also flexibility in how you use them. So what Angela does is she diffuses, and she found that Serenity is her very favorite. Okay, so Serenity is doTERRA's blend that has a lot of the sleep oils that I'm going to mention already packed in them, which is what makes it so great. So it has lavender in it, it has cedarwood, it has hoe wood, it has ylang ylang, marjoram, Roman chamomile, vetiver, vanilla. Oh, it even has sandalwood in it. All right, so Serenity is an incredible blend if you're not a do-it-yourselfer and you don't care about customizing it, and you love the smell. It smells so pretty. This is my son's favorite. So he actually drips drops of this on his pillow before he falls asleep. He puts it on his blanket. He loves Serenity. And he came out saying he couldn't sleep, went for the oil. And so this is a really awesome option. So this is the one that Angela loves to diffuse. I can't remember if she puts it on the bottom of her feet or not. She very well might. So you can do either, or do the pillowcase, do it on the wrists like a perfume, so you can smell it. I have my hands up near my face, and so that's how I do it, because I love the smell of it. But another one that she added right as she started to see her weight balance out the way she was hoping to, is clary sage. And so this one isn't one that we usually talk about for sleep, but I'm going to mention it because it works for you. Like it? So clary sage is one I want to mention because it's working so well for her in helping her sleep well. And it is a great oil for stress management and balancing hormones naturally. So this is a really, really awesome one if you feel like you're kind of all over the place during the day. So clary sage also helps with sleep. Another person, sure, don't use too much. Okay, just like that. All right, she's putting her Serenity on. She's putting it on her wrist like a perfume. Aren't you? Yeah. Another one, if the, for me, I didn't have a good association with lavender when I first started oils. I don't know why. Maybe because it's in so many synthetic scents and I'm really sensitive to them. So for me, Serenity was just too floral. If that's you, or if you're somebody who is really tired at night, but your brain won't be quiet, you know, that I can't get my brain to calm down enough for me to stop thinking about this, dwelling on this thing during the day. And smells like peppermint. It does. So where does it go? You don't want to put that one on too. You've already done 1 drop of oil. She wants to put the clary sage on too. If you want to put it on the bottom of your feet, you may. Just don't overdo it. My little thing over here. I wish you could see her. She's applying oils too. How you like that? And there's a dog too. Yep, that's my home, y'all. That's my home. All right, so I was talking about balance. Balance has more of a grounding scent. It's more earthy. So this one has spruce in it. It has some frankincense. It has blue tansy. It has osmanthus, blue chamomile. This one is my personal favorite to use for stress management, anxiety, response during the day. And so balance is really awesome for sleep. And what's cool is that you can pair these together if you want. Put balance and serenity into a roller, put it on the bottom of your feet, put it on the bottom of your kids' feet. It's pre-diluted, it's ready to go, it's absorbed really well. Or you can diffuse it like that. Just put half of your drops of one and half of your drops of the other. If you're just getting started, and you've got your new starter collection, snag out your lavender and your frankincense. So don't feel like you got to go out and spend a fortune. Start with your lavender and frankincense for sleep. Frankincense, remember I told you that your brain has to cool down and drain while you sleep, and that's what's going to help you deal with emotions, memory, and brain fog throughout the day. Without dealing with those negative side of that stuff. And my dog shaking my pillow again. Goes to the puppy. So you're not putting oils on the puppy, not today. So frankincense is anti-inflammatory to the brain and spine. And so it's going to calm any inflammation. It's going to cool. It crosses that blood-brain barrier. So you are going to love, love, love how deeply you sleep with some frankincense and lavender. Lavender is one of the most highly studied, highly published oils for rest and stress. I learned about a study just the other day, and I may or may not quote it perfectly, so we could look it up. Shh. Quiet your mouth. Yes, Mom. Quiet your mouth. Yes, Mom. No, don't put it on your face.
Where does it go?
I need a yes, Mom. Shh. So I learned a study the other day that I think is just really fascinating. But they have done research comparing sleep medications with lavender. And so it's really beautiful to see that medical research is confirming some of the things that we're experiencing, in that lavender, without any brain fog side effects, will help you rest and deal with stress and come off some of these sleep medications that may or may not be causing you adverse reactions. So look that up, aromaticsciences.com. Just look up lavender and sleep, and you'll find all kinds of really cool things there about how lavender is researched with sleep support. That's why lavender is in the Serenity blend. But you've got it in your starter collection, pair it with that frankincense, and you've got a really powerful thing there. Another one that's not expensive, if you want to add to your sleep arsenal, is cedarwood. So cedarwood is where? Somewhere here. Cedarwood is a really wonderful oil to have on hand because cedarwood also supports stress and rest. And so you can add that to your blend. It's in the Serenity already also, but it's much less expensive. Cedarwood is also one you can use as a bug repellent. It deters things like lice. So if you have kids, you want to put it on their head, it'll both calm and ground them as well as keep their scalps nice and healthy. So cedarwood is a good one to consider. I personally love vetiver. So there's a recipe out there that the name is non-compliant, so I'm not going to say it out loud, but there's a recipe out there, and the key ingredient in that one is vetiver. And what's cool about vetiver is that vetiver is that component that's going to calm your crazy thought process. That's why vetiver is also great if you have focus issues during the day. So if you find your brain's all over the place and you can't focus, vetiver's the one to grab. And for the same reason, it helps your body calm, relax, decompress, and allow you to sleep very, very deeply. Lastly, citruses are actually really good for rest and stress. And so I wanted to mention the citrus that's most potent in this category, and that's wild orange. There's actually research that shows that wild orange, while citruses are most of the time very uplifting, if it's evening and your body is winding down hormonally simply because you sense that the sun's going down and it's that time of day, wild orange will actually help you fall asleep. So how many of you have felt so jittery at night, you're exhausted, but you can't unwind. You can't let that unwind. And so wild orange is what's going to help you do that. I love to drink this one in water. So I will drink a drop or two of wild orange in a little shot or whole glass of water, depending on whether you're going to need to go to the restroom in the middle of the night. We don't want that to bother your sleep. So get some wild orange in your body during those hours after the kids are in bed and you're trying to unwind before you go to sleep. Wild orange is an awesome one to include in there. All right, so hopefully now you've got lots of choices in your arsenal. Remember, always dilute these. You only need a drop or two at a time. Snag a diffuser because that's a really great way to get it in the air and keep it going throughout the night. So we love diffusers that run about 10 to 12 hours on 10 to 12 drops of oil, and that water sound is also really great if you're somebody who got hooked on sound machines when your kids were little. So a diffuser is a really awesome thing to snag to help for sleep. Lastly, and I think this one was the turning point in my ability to sleep deeply. So doTERRA recognized that the oils are really great at calming you and helping you sleep, but they don't actually make you drowsy unless it's nighttime, right? So if your hormones are in any way out of whack, if that caffeine's in your system and you're out of whack, the oils may or may not promote that healthy calming response because your body's dealing with other things. So what did doTERRA do? They came out with this really incredible restful complex. And so this is not the same thing as the Serenity oil. For those of you who have the Serenity oil, keep using it, diffuse it. These are intended to pair together. And the Serenity complex is herbs. So this is a supplement that has a little bit of lavender oil in it, but not much. It's mostly the herb. It has something called, let me make sure I say it right. It has passion flower, it has German chamomile, it has lemon balm, and it has L-theanine, which I think is just one of the ingredients in those great herbs, the passion flower and the German chamomile and the lemon balm. So this is awesome. What you do is you take one or two of these tiny little gel caps about 30 minutes before you want to go to sleep, 20. I put them, I use them right as I'm going to bed. Thank you for my necklace, little one. It doesn't fit over my head, sweet, sweet. And so this is going to help you actually fall off to sleep, drift off to sleep, if that's something that's difficult for you. It's only $20 wholesale for a month's supply. Honey, are you choosing to be in trouble? Stop. You're not being helpful. She goes to school next year, y'all. She goes to school. Won't that be great? I could do my videos just in the morning while I don't have a Susie Sassafras. Okay, so all these options are great for you for sleep. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put up some images next to this live video of some of the things I've talked about, recipes that are out there for sleep. Go to what you're attracted to, okay? So like me, I'm not floral. I like balance. I like the frankincense. I like the vetiver and the cedar woods. I like the grounding woodsy ones. Maybe you like the florals better. My son is obsessed with the lavender and the chamomile. So every person's different. And always remember, you've got some other tools in your tool chest in terms of hormone balance. Snag some clary sage. If you think that it's metabolism that's your issue, take some Digest-N at bedtime. That works wonders for my husband. And so I'm really excited for you guys to tell me how your sleep is doing. And so I'm going to keep pestering you starting April 1st. I want you to pick one small thing that you are going to change in order to support your sleep cycle better. Okay, so one thing, whether that be the coffee thing, whether it be going to bed a little bit earlier, whether it be turning your screen off or getting it out of your bedroom. There are lots of goals that we could list, and I want you to snag the one that you are willing to take on as a baby step the first 2 weeks of April, and I'll do a giveaway and all kinds of goodies. But today we have LRP Love. All right, stop. Okay, we have lots of LRP loves. Okay, so those of you who do not have your wholesale account yet, you've got to get it. It's about time. So the pinned post at the top of this page has all the information about getting your 25% off wholesale access. Just like Costco, Sam's, this is going to get you the best price. We recommend a starter kit because I don't even like to pay the $35 wholesale fee. I'd much rather get oils with that money. And so those top 10 oils are going to get you started on your sleep, tummy, pain, all of it. And this month, if you choose that large bottle kit, the Home Essentials kit, that's $275, you will get 2 extra bottles of Deep Blue, one that's the rub and one that's the oil. So there's the oil in the kit too. You're going to be set on your inflammation management stuff. Another thing that you'll get from me, so if you enroll through me or one of our people, if you get your membership with one of us here, you will also get a bottle of Balance. Balance is the one I've been talking about here for sleep and stress. So I want you guys to have that if that's something that you qualify for with our group. So check out the pinned post. The second option that you have, we do have an optional monthly reward program. And so this is like a monthly wellness box. You get to customize it. There's no minimum, but you get something every month to support your wellness goals and your family that month. And so the winners today have placed their loyalty reward order. Their wellness box has arrived. And so we want them to win something really cool from us because they're getting really awesome points, and we're excited they're taking advantage of that. So Joe Driggers, she has been one of my forever friends in oils and before, and so I'm so excited she won today. Ann Mazzullo, Ann, I am so excited to reach out to you and chat with you. I'm so excited for you to get something custom from me. And then Pam, I'm not really sure how to say your name. I know I've asked you before, but I'll tag you. I'll tag you, dear friend. But I'm so glad that we have those awesome 3 winners. Go to Leanne. We have 3 more. Leanne's 3 winners today are Julie Weaver, Amanda Smith, and Kathy Hawkins. So I'm really excited for you guys to get your custom blends from Leanne. We have our last green cleaning make and take tonight. And then we will have a whole list of events coming in April as well around spring break and Easter. And so we would love, love, love to see your beautiful faces in person if you can come to one of our local events and make some goodies with us for just $5 and hang out with our really wonderful, beautiful community. Thank you guys for your time. I am so excited for you guys to be sleeping better. And comment below what your health goals are. Are you glad we're done? Sorry, she's such a stinker. You guys really see my transparent little number 4. You guys are great. Have a wonderful day. Bye.